Hey, Bobby, look, I'm American.
I think I'll use my credit card. Do you guys have anything non-dairy? Anything gluten-free?
Welcome everybody to the Plumes of Hazard. I, as always, am your host, and to my left, as always, is the one, the only, the lovely Fu Baka, and right down below me is a white guy that we let in here.
Damn, you're really fucking up these days. You can't do that anymore.
Hey, he just wandered in. He looked like he belonged. You know, he's got a beard,
looks like
black t-shirt.
True. Also true. I have all those things.
Hey, if anybody is new, which I don't think there's anybody new in there, but maybe somebody's new in there. I'll tell you that that's Understudy 77, one of the seminal creators of this mess that's been, what is that? What did you call yourself? Emeritus, host
Emeritus,
whatever it is.
Emeritus.
I remember recently.
You say seminal hosts of the mess, and I was going to add that's been going on for way too long.
Hey, Angsty, I'm way ahead of you.
Oh, nicely done.
That was with dinner, so.
That was with dinner. What was dinner?
Halal.
Halal.
I got some lamb. Dude, that was like my first lamb and rice I've had in months.
Nice.
Good.
I know some of the chat's been going through and making some various lamb and rice recipes the last few weeks. That's not one that I've done. I should probably do that at some point.
But yeah, it's good. Probably give me the hot snakes tomorrow.
It's Addy Tootie with a wrench.
Have you heard that term? That's a term I learned from C Death.
I like that he said that somebody missed me last week, and like my only real thought there is only last week.
That the hot snakes are another term for the Bernie shits.
Yeah, I got it.
I know you know, but I don't know if people in the audience know.
It's a
great term.
It's one of those good self-defining sorts of sayings. I like it.
I don't know, because sometimes I make poop references and people don't know.
Right.
Because sometimes people give you the benefit of, I'm assuming you're referring to something like above this line. I'm like, no, I'm not. Nope. It means what you think it means. It means poop.
That's right, Horror. Long beards are definitely going out of fashion with the
Horror,
whole
straight
mask
up.
thing.
I'd given up my beard before quarantine, actually, or before, just because I got, I do my normal, I am tired of having a beard, and I chop it off. I haven't really grown it back since.
I gotta roll back for a second here, though, because I feel like I've known you long enough to know that basically whenever you're speaking, it probably is about poop. It's like a 75%.
I'll give you. I was gonna say maybe not every time, but it definitely comes
sometimes.
up.
I mean, usually it's me and Mass that are talking about poop. I'll put it to you this way, Sean. You've never seen my poop. You've seen his.
Fair.
Yeah,
that's true.
Don't make me pull up a picture from our Facebook chat.
Dinner for me was what did I have for tea? I had salmon that I had done leftover.
I had that for lunch
and some pilaf.
Did we talk about this on here before? Remember a couple of years ago when I got dental surgery? Speaking of the old Facebook chat, a couple of years ago when I had dental surgery and it was all hopped up on fucking drugs and shit, I found a bunch of videos. Did I ever talk about that?
Yeah. You posted them in the chat.
Yeah. So like, I don't remember ever recording them, but they were really dickish. Like, I just kind of stumbled upon them and I'm like, when the fuck did I take these? Why am I like, I'm calling Mast a lot of mean names right now. Like, why is that a thing?
Right.
Mexican
must have
need to
been
build a
surgery
wall.
time. No, it was nothing racial.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought you said.
But fuck, that must have been surgery time. I was pretty sure. Apparently, I talked to my wife about it too, and I was like, "I thought you took my phone." She's like, "You insisted that you were fine and wanted it back." I'm like, "Clearly, I was not."
Why did you listen to me?
The upset is, I'm pretty sure the damage was just localized to you fucks, which is probably the best case scenario.
Yeah, probably so. I think my white balance is messed up. Stupid
Oh
camera.
yeah, I had like I should maybe set that or something. I forgot how to do this. I don't do video anymore.
Yeah. Let's see what else did. Ooh, dude. So, speaking of culinary things that we can laugh about, this last weekend, I remember I happened to go to the Costco, and I remember Fu was talking a while back about how good their croissants are there. So I got one of that when I was walking in, they had all the shit they normally got stacked out up front, the impulse things up front by the TVs. I was walking past
That's how I bought this. This was only $20 at Costco.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
normally 40.
So I was rolling by all the stuff that I didn't care about. And then all of a sudden, right when we were getting in there, and I was, my mom was in town, my parents were in town this weekend. And so I was there with my mom, and I was just kind of walking, and all of a sudden the last thing as you're, rounding the curve to go in, where the croissants were, they had some up front. And I'm
the
like,
bakery aisle.
ooh.
Oh. Dude, their bakery section's dangerous.
Oh no, but it was well before that. At least in mine, the bakery's way back in the corner. They just had the thing of the croissants were just.
Oh, so yeah, it was like a display.
Yeah, it's like a display, and they were $5 for the big thing or whatever, right? And I was like, I looked at them.
They're on sale because I think they're normally like $7 or $8, and that's still a good deal.
Yeah. So they're on sale for like
$5.
$5, and I looked at them. I was like, oh, Ahmed says these are really good. I should probably try some of these.
They are. I mean, that's
so
back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, back in the day we didn't have a Costco membership or whatever. Like my mom would go with a friend and like bring back croissants. I remember those croissants from way back. They've always been good.
Right. So I picked up a box. I'm like, Ahmed says these are really good. I need to try these. And as soon as I grabbed them, I didn't even notice, but there was a Costco employee standing like right there, and I was ignoring them. And he goes, "Yeah, you do. You really want those?" I was like, "Okay." I was gonna get them anyway, but that was really creepy.
Put those in the toaster, you dirty boy.
Oh, and by the way, as if it's some sort of like California, they actually do require you to wear a mask in there. So, but they were passing them out the door, right? So if you didn't have one, you could take one. But instead, so what I've resorted to do over the last 3 months, when I do need a mask, I keep a bandana in my pocket, like I fold it up like a handkerchief sort of thing in my back pocket, just in case, kind of thing, right? So I had put it on, so I look like a bank robber anyway. Which is fantastic. So the whole time,
Thanks to wiping his face with his handkerchief, like Darla gave this to me.
I just bought a mask that said "Game Over."
Oh, good.
Because that felt kind of fun.
I showed you last week the Ultimate Warrior. There was 2 weeks ago for my brother's birthday, the Ultimate Warrior mask.
Yes. Yeah, like the Ultimate Warrior.
Dude, it still hasn't shown up.
Oh, really?
My brother ordered it, and my brother's like, some companies' customer service has gotten better during COVID. Other companies have used it as an excuse to just wait days before fulfilling your order and say, "Oh, sorry, we're busy with all the COVID traffic." That's probably them.
So please tell me. So I sent you guys something a little while back. Please tell me you talked about it on here. Enhance. How close we're getting to enhance?
I didn't. I didn't talk about that a while back, but I did see that link that you posted.
So you should share it now, because there's an update that I need to make to it, but everybody will get everything all at once.
Oh, dude, I don't have that link. That was like a million years ago.
I just put it in the Zoom chat, man.
Oh, you did? Okay.
We don't talk that much in the channel. Like it was like 3 lines up.
No, it was more than that.
It wasn't that high up.
Shh. All right, hold on. You know what? One thing I didn't do is make sure that I have my window for sharing set up. So give me 1 second.
So
I'm pulling it up right now. I want to make sure I've got my.
So let me run through the excitement with everybody of what happened. As I was, roaming around across the internet, and I find this article of very blurry images that are being turned into very clear images, and we're like, "Holy fuck! How many times have we made the enhanced joke?"
Right.
like enhance is a thing now. Apparently, we're pretty close to fucking enhance. That's amazing. We're so close to enhance.
All right,
And
hold
now
on.
I just have to wait
So-
for Brian to share it, and then I'll share the second part.
Okay, so I've got it up right now. So artificial intelligence makes blurry faces look more than 60 times sharper. Enhance.
Correct.
Clap it, clap it, clap it, clap it, clap it. Enhance.
So you got to like share the demo thingy. Like you got to show it so that people can see it do the thing.
Yeah, the top Giphy thing, right?
Yeah.
That's up there. So that's so I mean, in case you've been living under a rock.
Oh shit, you're sharing now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sharing right now. So the joke that he's talking about is the one we've made a lot of times on the show, which is the one from Super Tubers, right?
Yeah. Enhance.
Right.
So here's where it gets better. We're actually a lot farther away from this technology than I thought.
Oh, is that right?
Because if you click this second link and share it, you'll immediately know why. And probably have a good laugh.
Oh, The Verge. That's not a good source.
It doesn't matter where it comes from. It's still hilarious. Trust me. And you can
All right,
find it
hold
in
on.
a bunch of different places.
I'm pulling it up right now. All right, so now that's sharing right now. So what a machine learning tool tells the oh yeah, I did see this.
So like we're apparently a little bit farther away than I had hoped from Enhance. Because, it's making Obama white.
You know who that looks like? It doesn't look like Obama that's white. You know who
looks
that
like
looks like
Daniel
is
Craig?
it's that Freeze guy from Flash. What's that
Oh,
guy's
see,
name?
I was gonna go with I get kind of a Daniel
We're-
Craig there.
We're the
It-
same distance away from Enhance as we are with Windows with the usable search function.
There you go.
What's that guy's name? Sean, what's his character's name in the show?
Captain Cold?
Yeah, but he always just went by his regular name, right? It was like he had like a funny name.
Yeah, there was
And he was on the
he went into
Heroes-
Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, he was on the Legends show too.
And like the other guy's still on Legends.
Yes.
So I totally know who you're talking about, but like he died Leonard Snart.
Snart. There it is.
He died a long time ago, which is what makes me forget.
Snart.
Thundercats.
But my hope was coming on tonight that you had already shared the initial Enhance so I could talk about how amusing it was, how just horribly bad it actually turned out.
Oh God, that one from Mario Klingemann later down in that about halfway down that article is horrifying.
Yeah.
God, those eyes
So,
are
like,
creeping me out.
There's still a long way to go there. In general, I think there's a long way to go there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, skin tone kind of makes sense, right? Because you can't. If you look at the blurry image with your own eyes,
Sure.
and then look at the one that's on the end, the tone's pretty close, right? I mean,
You're
Yeah,
telling me
it's
that
far off.
tell me that every black dude in this Enhanced thing's gonna look like Sammy Sosa looks like now.
But ultimately, what you're getting from that is like there's definitely some. There's just no general anything of accuracy.
right, right. Because you have to get some sort of like averaged out, for example, nose shape, right, and mouth shape, and that kind of
Exactly.
stuff. Like you're not gonna. Some people, that's a defining part of their face. Like I've got
Mhm.
kind of a larger nose. I mean, it's not super wide, it's not super big, but it's not petite either. I guess you would say. But then again, neither's my head. but I mean, it may not know to make my nose shape. Yeah, what do you expect, right? It's got to guess. It's got to make some educated guesses.
Well, right now the best thing we have is like Snapchat filters and making a girl's nose look less big.
I mean, Snapchat filters are a marvel of modern technology.
They really are.
Yeah. Oh, Addy, absolutely, buddy. That's definitely one of the things we were going to talk about. He's asking about the talk about Australia.
Oh, cool. I mean, there are kangaroos.
Yeah, there's kangaroos, and they're also trying to ban vaping,
Oh,
like real bad.
I like the accents.
Yeah,
That's all I got on Australia.
my absolute one of my very favorite of the last like 3 or 4 months, as I've been watching them, is the one that's That's What I Reckon. Have I talked about that on the show yet? That if you haven't seen this guy's YouTube channel, it's hysterical. He was like a YouTube comedian kind of guy who did like, skit interviews, walking around conventions and that kind of thing. But at the beginning of the coronavirus thing, he started doing cooking videos in his house, and he's hysterical. Like, he's really, really funny. If you just glance at him, he looks like a metalhead, right? He's got like long, real straight hair, and tattoos all over him. He's got like a lip piercing, and of course he's Australian, so he swears like a sailor, and it's absolutely like side-splittingly funny. Like, I don't think it's actually possible to watch one of his videos and not learn something about cooking, but more importantly, not laugh, because he's a freaking stitch. Yeah, and it's NAT. Nat's what I reckon. It's fantastic. It's so good. He had like I think he's got like 6 or 8 videos now about cooking, and I don't think he ever did cooking before. I think he was just bored in his house.
That's fair. I feel like a lot of people are moving to content creation right now for that reason.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. Even like I know we joked about their problem with the editor in chief, but the Bon Appetit guys, like Brad Leone, whom I adore. I love the guy. He's so funny on Bon Appetit. They're all shooting from their house, their own houses, and doing I think they've equipped them with some amount of equipment, but they're definitely using their phones.
Oh yeah, I mean, even any of the like TV people, like musicians, are starting to put out house cuts and stuff. Like, all that stuff's happening
for sure.
But I do have to say, I'm very disappointed. It's been like 20 minutes, and there's been no talk of vaping. Even though this was short notice, I came prepared. I have vaping.
You have vaping.
Like, we talked about vaping last week, and that was like the most. So you kind of picked a bad week to come on.
Yeah, I have vaping things to talk about. All right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We welcome it as always, but we are now these days a lifestyle podcast. So if vaping comes up, that's great.
Yeah, I'm also lying. I don't have vaping.
I didn't think so.
Come on, you let me know like an hour beforehand.
Right. I actually did have vaping news a couple weeks ago, Sean. I got some new Omen tips.
Ooh, nice.
Actually,
do they look just like the old Omen tips?
Kinda. But I'm going to show you because you're going to like them.
Okay.
Here's why. I'm going to zoom up. So I've got them on my Bliss, right? Oh, that's actually too much zoom. Too much zoom.
That's a lot of zoom.
Yeah. So
enhance.
It's on here, but look at this ice one that he made me.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty good.
And look how tight it is too. It's pretty.
That matches the bloom really well.
It's like 5mm ID, which is great.
I wasn't around at the Switch to Lifestyle podcast.
Yeah, you'd about left, but yeah, that's
talking about
vaping was dying.
You're a lifestyle podcast, but you're still on.
We still tried to pretend it was about vaping. Wow.
True. But to Addie's point, that is something we want to mention, that Australia really is cracking down on vaping stuff, like to the point of like super stiff penalties for even buying nicotine containing e-liquids and that kind of stuff, bringing it in. Like, so the shops are going to suffer and all that kind of stuff. So I would say go watch the Vaping Bogan. Has got some stuff on it from what I understand, if you want to get engaged and see if we can help from our side of this. It's not really the pond. It's like many ponds, several ponds away from Australia.
You want to help out people on the island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Addie, using his moderator power. By the way, we made Addie a moderator last week or 2 weeks ago, Sean.
I think I heard about that.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, like a month ago, all of a sudden he started not being able to be seen by other people in chat. For some reason.
That's really weird.
Yeah, I thought we blocked him. I'm like, what the fuck could he have possibly done?
Like I think only a couple of us could see, including like the Plumes account could see him, but nobody else could. And that's not.
Addie's basically been here forever.
I was just saying, like, I have no qualms making him a moderator.
Right. So yeah, post links away, Addie. All you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm happy about that.
I'm going to catch up with chat. I've been talking and not looking. Yeah, Rob, I did not use a bandana with a huge skull and crossbones. Mine was just a standard, red paisley style, normal bandana, which is why it looked like I was a bank robber.
So I can totally talk about tech lifestyle stuff that's fucking cool as shit.
Well, please. What is that?
This thing, man.
What is that?
This is a like $130 Game Boy emulator that plays up to PlayStation 1 and it's made of metal. It feels nice as shit.
It looks
like
nice as
quality.
shit.
It feels like it's even got like 2 little holdy pads here on the back so your fingers don't slip.
For grippy grips.
Yeah. It's incredible.
I mean, is it?
It's got 2 little low profile indented joysticks down here.
Yeah.
And it's got like, hey, there's everybody.
Hold on. So can you play? Did you say it? Did you say there's PSX on there? You can put.
It'll play everything up to PlayStation 1.
That's awesome.
And it's, I mean, internal battery, USB-C charging, the works. And I want to say it's like 120 to 140 bucks.
And what emulator software is it running? Is it running the?
So it runs like all of them. So it's got like XMAME, it's got FCEUX, Game Boy, OSWAN, Pocket SNES, Game Boy Advance, PSX or PCSX for all. Looks like Dreamcast is on here too.
Oh, I never had a Dreamcast. I had a buddy of mine that had one.
I never had a Dreamcast either.
I bought mine after they stopped making them after the hype.
Like,
yeah, so I have a Dreamcast.
There you go.
No kidding. Look at that.
It's fucking incredible. And they have a plastic one that you can get that's $80 if you don't want the metal one. But the metal one I think is far nicer.
So on Dreamcast, if you remember, they had an online network.
Play some Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
I still have the instructions to get around the paywall for the paid service with my Dreamcast.
I didn't know you could hack
the
around
guy I bought it from on eBay, because I basically bought a lot of stuff from him. It was like the Dreamcast controllers, memory cards that you could play little mini games on. Remember, you could pull it out of the controller, play little games, all that shit. And he had the network stuff for it, and he basically had a little printout of how to set it up. Mm-hmm. So, because if I remember, their network was like monthly or something. You had to pay for it.
Hey, I can link stuff now. I did link it. You can hit the drop down and you can look at the RJ350, which is the plastic, or the RG350M, which is the metal version. And it takes forever to get there because it comes from China, but it's super dope.
Rob's asking if it's a Raspberry Pi.
It's not a Raspberry Pi. It's its own custom thing. The OS actually kind of sucks, but it's basically all open source. So like you can install an app on it called Simple Menu, which is what I'm using. And then you can actually make the menu stuff look pretty good. It doesn't run Emulation Station for shit. But like, this has been a really fun little thing to have. And you toss it in your bag and go somewhere and you got classic games at your fingertips. I've been looking for a really high quality, like handheld emulator for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I know some people have built them that we know.
Yeah. They have,
but that one's tight. That one's real small and nice. But I'm sure it varies depending on what game you're playing. But what's the
iPhone X in this thing?
Oh yeah.
So it's the size of an iPhone X, a little thicker. But I mean, so I tend to stick to like NES, Super Nintendo, and stuff like that, and all of them have played brilliantly.
Does it play N64 too?
It does not do N64.
Okay. N64 has always been a problem to emulate.
Yeah. There's been a couple people who managed to get N64 working, but it doesn't work great.
Oh, Sean, did you do Super Mario 64.exe?
I have that, yeah.
I was gonna say
it's super dope.
Yeah, that is. And the sad thing about that is, that will probably be the only game that comes out from that group.
Oh yeah. So I want Pokemon Snap because none of the emulators for Pokemon Snap work. But then I got the really good news that they're making a new Pokemon Snap for the Switch. And for whatever fucking reason, Pokemon Snap is like my favorite N64 game ever. Like it's the one I go back to and I just play. And it's stupid. Like you're on a rail taking photographs. Like it's dumb. But there's something that I just really enjoy about that fucking game.
So I don't think we told the story about Super Mario EXE. So these guys, I guess long story short, they reverse engineered the code for Super Mario 64. Like a team of guys, they reverse engineered it, then wrote it in C, and got it working on Windows that it's its own thing. It's an exe file, like you would do an install file or anything else. It runs, it's compatible with DirectX 12, you could use an Xbox controller, all of that. why did this work? Because it was the first game to come out for Nintendo 64. There were no optimizations made on top of the existing code. This was like a 3-4 year project for them.
Well, I think also it's probably arguably like the most popular game to ever.
Oh yeah, no,
It was
but
a
the thing
fantastic
is,
game.
but here's the thing: is say GoldenEye was more popular than that, they probably wouldn't have done it because of everything that, basically all the changes that they were making to games after that code wise.
And then Nintendo basically immediately sued because this is a big year for Mario. Like I actually fully expect they're going to re-release Mario 64 on Switch. Because like it's some big anniversary for Mario this year, so like they're going to be doing a lot of Mario shit.
Yeah,
it's what 25 years almost since N64 came out.
Yeah, something like that.
96, I think it came out.
It's going to be a big deal
anyway.
for Mario.
Yeah, I feel like it was right around late 90s. It was something like that when the 64 came out.
Yeah, I mean the only other cool technical thing that I have is like
September 29, 1996.
There you go. It's the high horsiest of high horsey things, and that's the Magic Keyboard for the iPad, which I really, really fucking love.
I think last time you were on, you mentioned that you were going to get it.
I think I mentioned that I ordered it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love it. I love having a trackpad on the iPad. Like, it basically now functions as a travel laptop replacement in a time that I can't travel.
Perfect.
Like
travel from the upstairs to the downstairs.
The floating screen stuff is really cool. The hard case is cool. Like it just functions really well, and the trackpad actually works really well on iPad too. So I've been very happy with it.
So I actually am in the market for a new iPad Mini, and I've had my Series 4 or whatever for several years. But the 5's been out for a couple of years now, I think. But I keep waiting because like Mac Rumors has been saying we're at the end of the cycle for the 5. And I'm not sure if I should buy another one because the next one's coming out soon. I've heard is this fall they're going to release a larger Mini.
It's possible. The problem is they're putting all their baskets in the Pro. So like I got rid of my Mini when I went to the Pro, and like the 10-inch Pro took some getting used to, but you get so much more functionality with it.
Sure. See, my thing is I love the Mini for its size. It's obviously bigger than a phone, but it's still small to where I can set it up like on the arm of the couch or whatever when I'm watching.
Oh, no, dude, I loved it too.
It's
like
such a good size.
I loved my Mini. But like the Pro is what's getting all this stuff. And did you see the fucking new news about how they're starting to do their own silicon and they're going to start putting iPad chips in Macs now?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that overall.
Kind of weird, right?
Yeah. So they say it's supposed to be significantly faster.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of issues with it too. Like, you're moving away from the Intel architecture, so you're probably losing support to dual boot. You're going to lose a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And what I'm really worried about is with this new update that they're going to start walling in the Mac because they're
right.
Instead of going the way I want them to go, where they bring the Mac experience more onto the iPad.
Yeah, they're totally
going the opposite direction. They're bringing the iPad experience onto the Mac.
But they've been threatening to do that for a while, right?
That's
it's really not what I want.
No.
Like, I don't want to switch away from Mac because I love my fucking Macs. But if they wall garden me and I can't install custom fucking software on my desktop computer, I'm done.
Right. I'm the exact same way.
No more Mac.
It took less than that to drive me away from them.
It's gonna. I mean, I would actually, for mine, it's the same, but it's also another thing is. Absolutely, is it a problem that I couldn't, download something from the internet's right and install whatever that's not in the App Store that they're not charging 30% for or whatever, right? So not only that, but also, and arguably just as important, is I wouldn't be able to run Windows. I assume.
Yeah. So I can live perfectly fine without that, because I mean I don't run Windows on any of my Macs anyway.
No, I definitely have been running Parallels for many. That was what got me to come back to Mac.
You should still be able to virtualize, though, and Parallels is just virtualization. So theoretically, you should still be able to virtualize without a problem.
Maybe, but you couldn't before that.
That's true when they were on their own silicon before. Hopefully, they address that issue.
Yeah, I think they're bringing out, what do they call it? The Rosetta 2. They're re-releasing Rosetta. Yeah, and hopefully that'll let that keep up, because I do have to run Windows for some of my stuff at work.
Sure. I don't run Windows for anything other than occasionally when I turn this fucker on to play games.
Yeah.
So but I'm not existing in a walled garden on my desktop.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
not
I mean,
happening.
what we're on right now, we're streaming from a PC,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But for work, because this is just for games and for the show, really. But for
Mhm.
work, yeah, like I have to install SQL Server, right?
Yep.
If I have to do that,
Or
then
you
I
have
can't
to
do that on
install
Mac.
literally anything that you want.
Yeah.
Like,
Gotta
I'm
have
just
it.
not. I'm not willing to move in that direction. Like, I'm actually hoping that the antitrust lawsuits that are happening because of that 30% means that they're going to open up the App Store and let you start installing external applications.
Right.
Because if they get hit for antitrust, they might have to allow additional app stores and shit.
They're gonna have. It's gonna be tough to push that through. I think because I mean the App Store has been set up like that from the very beginning, like from day one.
It has, but back then they didn't have the 30%. They didn't charge the subscriptions. They didn't do
Yeah,
all
they
that
did.
shit. Well, no, you didn't have to purchase the subscription to an app within the App Store. Now you do. Now they mandate that that's an option.
I don't remember when they enacted it, but it was many years ago. That
Oh,
they
it was.
enacted that.
But they're already starting to change some things.
Yeah, some things you're right.
Allow
They-
you to set different default applications and shit
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, there
So-
are a couple categories where they have gray unwritten rules where you can get by and not pay those.
I'm genuinely hoping that the lawsuit actually opens up shit. Like I really am.
You know, I would like Outlook for Mac. I do like Outlook on Mac.
I do
Oh,
like Outlook
shit.
on Mac as well.
I don't, because for work, I don't use Outlook. I use Webmail.
What up?
Oh.
Yo.
What up?
While Mass is here, I can go now.
Yeah. Later,
no. Are we still live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome. I just typed something in there for chat for you there.
Oh.
We're talking about Apple antitrust lawsuits.
Yeah. and Apple Silica.
Yeah.
Well, it's Apple Silica. You mean them creating their own, using their own chips?
Yep.
And how
Yeah.
they're basically transitioning the desktop experience to more like the tablet rather than the other way around, which is
Oh no! Why?
it's really a shame. Like it might actually push me off Mac, which would suck.
Why are they doing that?
But I'm getting
What's
to
a
be legitimately
computer?
terrified. I'm really starting to get terrified that they're gonna basically make Macs a walled garden. And like I'm not willing. I can accept that on my tablet.
Dude, yeah,
but
they
Right,
walk away
but I
from,
mean-
they walk away from Intel. I'm done with that.
I'm not accepting it on my desktop.
Well, what do you mean they walk away from the Intel? They are walking away from Intel.
Yeah, I
They're
don't
creating their own
give a
chips.
fuck if they walk away from Intel. I really don't care about that.
Yeah.
Well, that
Sure.
them walking away from Intel leads directly to what you're fearful of.
Yeah.
Potentially.
They don't have to, but
But I was just saying, I'm hoping that the antitrust lawsuits about the App Store right now keep that from potentially happening and maybe even open up the iPad more.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird, right? Because they already have the devices for that experience if you want it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, and you can make your desktop close to that experience if you want it.
Apparently,
But-
it's ultimately because nobody's buying Mac desktops.
Well,
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 it's
yeah,
because
what the
they've
fuck
only
you
got
expect
one,
them-
really, right? And it's
Yeah.
stupid
That's true.
expensive.
Well, and I mean, even then, though, even with one, like, you know, I have an iMac and I have a MacBook Pro.
Mm.
You know, when I had a Windows box, I had to upgrade like every year. When I
Yeah.
bought my last iMac, I kept that thing for 6 years. It ran beautiful.
That-
And then I
yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
there hasn't been a reason to buy a Mac tower
Yeah.
in years.
Right.
it's not just the towers, though. It's the, like, their
The iMacs are the probably the
Mac
most bang for your
Pros.
buck thing they make.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, the thing is when you buy one, you don't really need to upgrade.
Right.
Like, they last a long fucking time.
People
Yeah.
give a lot of crap for how expensive they are, and they are. Don't get me wrong; they are
They are.
expensive machines, but they do last a lot longer than most Windows machines.
They
do.
last a long fucking time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
my
Mac
last
towers
laptop-
though don't.
I mean, most of the shit's optimized. That's why the
Right.
OS is optimized for versions. You get 6-7 years out of a computer for them, which is really convenient.
So, and you're right. I mean, my last laptop that I upgraded was in 2016 when they put the Touch Bar thing out, and my laptop now was like 5.5 years old at that time, and I went ahead and upgraded, but I didn't need to. Like it still ran great, and that's running all the stuff that I was just talking about, like virtualization of another entire operating system, running databases and running whatever on the side. It was fine, but I upgraded anyway, and that was 2016, and then it's 4 years later.
When I
on
upgraded
MacBooks,
last
some of
year,
them-
I went with the iMac Pro. Like, I'm never gonna have to fucking upgrade this thing.
Not for
I hate the
when you-
MacBook. Well, apparently they, with the new MacBook Airs, they went back to the not shitty keyboards, so that's cool.
And the new MacBook Pros. So like, I
Did
hate
they get rid of the Touch Bar?
No, the Touch Bar still exists. I actually kind of like the Touch Bar. I'm not gonna lie. It's
I can't get
I don't like
customizable
mine
set-
because mine still has a soft key for escape, and that sucks.
sure.
The new ones don't. The new ones
But
have a hard key for
I
escape.
like the touch bar because you get a customizable set of keys that you can do all kinds of stuff with, including like I have a touch key to lock my computer.
Yeah.
And I love the touch ID that's built into the fucking button so I
course.
can unlock it with my fingerprint. Like I like all that stuff.
I agree.
don't
I
like-
think it's a little bit of a gimmick, but at the same time, if you're using an app that's using it, it's
Mhm.
pretty cool.
The thing is I want them to put it out for the Magic Keyboard.
Sure.
Like
Mag
I want a keyboard
charging.
version with it. Like that would be useful.
I miss mag charging.
Mag charging was dope.
Last time I was at the Apple store, I was commiserating about it with the genius who was helping me, and they're like, "Yeah, people with these. The problem with USB-C now is it's 2 in there, and we have people who trip on their cords and their MacBook gets pulled.
Mhm.
You're not breaking the cord; you're breaking the book now."
Yes.
I mean, there's solutions for that out already. Also, by the way,
There
we should-
are. They have like a magnetic thing
Yeah.
you can put.
We should congratulate ourselves. We made horror drunk.
But the thing is, you shouldn't have to fucking make things for that when you fucking made it in the first place.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. I do love the old MagSafe connectors.
Dude, honestly, I think that was one of. It was like probably one of the greatest.
when you have kids that like to yank on shit.
yank the thing.
Actually-
Yank the thing. Like,
But
what's
wait,
wrong
also
with
let's
it?
talk.
can't deny the
before that,
benefit.
before that though, the version 1 MagSafe, amazing. The
Yeah,
next,
big
the
chunky.
version that came out that was perpendicular though sucked.
Oh yeah.
You
But
constantly
the problem
unplug
is I
yourself.
can't deny the benefit of USB-C in the sense that I plug in one cord to my computer. It does power. It does monitor. It
Yep.
does speaker. It does fucking everything.
Yes.
Like I like that.
Right. Yeah, I've got mine are running. I mean, my MacBook Pro powers 2 27-inch monitors besides
Yeah.
itself. Right, it's great.
Like I enjoy that part a lot.
Right.
Oh, my the laptop I got from work, the ZBook. It's a 2016. It was a Windows 7 HP laptop that has 2 Thunderbolt 3s on it.
Yep.
So did you get 27-inch USB-C monitors? Because like I had a pain in the ass finding USB-C monitors.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
no.
you saw the one that I posted a while back that I got at work, where it was the specific one that only the Apple Store sold, and it was the LG. But dude, that monitor is beautiful.
Oh god.
But holy crap, I had to go to the Apple Store in Orlando to pick it up and lug that some bitch out in the freaking parking lot. I'm like, you should have seen people just looking like, what? Dude,
That
it's huge.
Dude, that LG
Man,
one is
walking
basically
looking like
the
a
same,
motherfucking
the same like look as the iMac monitor.
Mhm.
Oh, by the
Yeah.
way, you know the thing that I forgot to mention that might be my favorite part about the fucking keyboard?
No.
Pass-through USB-C charging.
Oh.
So
that's
like
cool.
USB-C port down here and then magnetic charging on the case. So you just pop it open and then like if I want to walk into another room, I just pull it right off the case. This basically sits stationary. And then I just drop it back on there when I'm back in my room.
Nice.
It's the closest I've been to that tablet laptop experience
Now,
that I really wanted.
Have they actually said that they were thinking about taking those desktops and turning them into
Well, they're moving to their own silicon, and they're basically one of the reasons why they're doing it is so that you can run any App Store app currently on the Mac, like
Sure.
on Macs going forward.
And I think that's
And-
great, by the way. I think being
I
able
do
to
too.
run iPad stuff on the Mac is fantastic. That's super cool,
Yeah.
comma.
But they've been kind of pushing in that direction for a long time. You
Yeah.
know, now they automatically ban unknown developers or unidentified developers,
right.
and you can override it, but
Yeah.
like they still ban it. So like, how long until they're like, no more,
Yeah.
no more unidentified developers? We
I mean,
want our 30%.
You and I talked about that, I think, on the show like 5 years ago. Talked
because we were
exactly
I was
about
pissed
this.
about it.
Yeah.
And it like going to Silicon and integrating the app stores, like they're basically trying to make the desktop experience more like the tablet experience.
So Festi's
Microsoft
making
tried to
fun
do
of
that.
what?
Microsoft tried to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say I'm really excited about widgets in 14.
They
Like
look pretty
screen
slick,
widgets
right?
And shit, they look slick.
So
And-
Festi's already making fun of Dongle City. And by the way, that was something I was gonna. We got distracted, Massey talking about the super cool Apple monitor, but I was gonna say no. I did not buy 2 USB-C monitors at all. My first one that powers is the first Apple LED Cinema.
Oh yeah.
Which means I had to order, and there was only one way of figuring out how to get a dongle from Lightning 1 to USB-C. I had to order it like from there was only one of them from somewhere in China, and I got one, and it works great. But it's definitely a dongle, and the other one is HDMI to mini HDMI. So that's and I've got I kickstarted. I think I talked to you about this. Is when they went to USB-C, I kickstarted a little side module that plugs into two USB-Cs that has a bunch of different ports and stuff. So no, Festy, I don't have a ton of dongles sitting out there, but I do have a bunch of adapters because they all go into one.
Yeah,
So I have a side module for the iPad, actually.
I
And I have one of the stone, like the Henge Dock stones for the MacBook, which I quite like. And now they have the new stone that does 2 monitors. So I literally plug in one thing and it just boots everything up and works.
I'm pretty sure Dell has a line specifically of USB-C monitors, Sean. That
I think they do. I don't
do. So like at work, basically,
they're pricey though.
They're not terrible. So here's the problem: the 24-inch is worth it. The 27-inch that has USB-C is still 1080. Fucking lame.
Yeah.
But basically, at work, we gave out like these laptops with said monitor. Basically, they're made to be used in conjunction.
Yeah, I won't do anything other than 1440p. Like I don't do 4K.
Yeah, I think they may have one out now, but my company wasn't going to spring for it.
What starts happening that people forget though is that with the laptops, you're going to be using some serious CPU power. The more monitors you keep adding in resolution, and people forget. Like they're like, oh, the laptop works great by itself, but when I go and I dock, and I have
I plug into 6 monitors.
Yeah, well, it takes a shit, and that's what people forget. Like
you got these 6 5K monitors.
You don't even know how, like in the business side of things, how hard it is to have, from a laptop with just using either a docking station, and we're talking, almost $260 docking stations that are the pro docking stations. That's the only way you can even do 2 monitors plus, and to be honest, like it's kind of sad. And I know that there's new adapters and stuff like that out, but and thank goodness for USB-C, but back a few years ago, USB 3 EVGA made that puck that basically turned USB 3.0 into DVI or HDMI out in the puck, and they stopped making it. And the price of those things went from like $60 to like $120 because it was the only way that you could get multiple monitors to work with USB, and it's solid, right? So plug it in, let it run. No drivers, no nothing, no display adapter drivers, nothing.
Dude, you know the other thing that you missed, Mass, that I know you'll appreciate? This thing.
Oh yeah, thick boy.
I got the RG350M.
Yeah, that's the metal one, right?
Yeah, this isn't the Bit Boy. It's the RG350, but it's the metal one.
Yeah, the metal one. Yeah.
Fucking dope.
Yeah.
Like it feels so high quality. It's got little grippy things in the back.
Yeah.
Like everything about this thing is so nice.
Do you have a Vita?
I don't.
I'm wondering how it compares to the size.
So I can tell you how it compares to the size of an iPhone X because it's exactly the size.
The Vita was quite a bit beefier than that, right?
Yeah, the Vita was a lot.
Well, the version 2 wasn't as bad.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, the version 2 was what's quote unquote the slim. So.
Yeah, but it is about the exact size of an iPhone X.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
With a 640p screen.
You know what I like about that is those recessed.
The recessed joysticks.
Yep. So that, because that's the biggest pet peeve is kind of put that shit in your pocket.
And that's why you get the metal one and not the plastic one, because the metal one's the only one with the recessed joysticks.
And that's why you always leave a note.
Yeah, the plastic one has the metal one's the update. The other smart thing that the metal one did was move the D-pad to the top and both joysticks on the bottom.
Yeah.
Because you're playing like Super Nintendo games, like you're usually using the D-pad.
That screen definitely is nice though.
Yeah, it's really freaking cool.
It's a.
I put in like custom like.
But it runs its own OS, right? It's not RetroPie or anything.
It's not RetroPie. Emulation Station runs like shit on it, but it will run. But somebody made a program called Simple Menu that kind of looks like Emulation Station and works pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I'm using that program. But it's like a full computer, so like there's a fucking command line that you can get into it and all kinds of shit.
Funny.
So I'm sure you could make it do some serious shit. The only thing
Yeah.
it lacks is Wi-Fi. It doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
It's
I mean, it's not like you really need it. Like
Yeah.
you can FTP over your games or put them on a memory card, but like it's still kind of a bummer that it doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi.
Wait, you
So-
can FTP? It's got an FTP thing on there. It just doesn't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I mean, if you plug it into your computer,
Well,
it
you
will
gotta
sign
plug
an
it
IP
in.
address,
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Okay.
and then you can FTP to it when
It
it's
doesn't
plugged
have "fuck the police" built in.
or you can. It's got 2 memory card slots, one for the operating system and one like extra one, so you can just put games on whichever one you want, and then
What's
point
it?
to
What's it use? Micro?
Yeah, micro, and it's USB-C charging.
Oh, that's nice.
Damn.
So
How big is
like
battery?
1,600 mAh, I think.
That's pretty good.
I believe it's 2,000 at least. I was looking at the product page when you posted.
Is that enough to run it? I assume it changes based on what game you're playing, but is it
Yeah,
run
I
for a
would
couple
only
I think
hours?
the
Or...
battery's rated for 2,000.
It runs for a decent amount of time.
Okay.
Oh shit! I
Um,
mean, it's got USB-C, so who cares? It'll
Yeah.
charge in like 5 minutes.
Right.
Got
Can
512 mega RAM.
Can you pull battery
2,500
power from it?
I think so, actually, because it's got DC and then an OTG USB-C port.
Nice.
It's actually 2,500 mAh. Sorry,
Yeah, that's good size.
512 megabyte of RAM, 2,500 mAh
size.
battery. The updated screen in the metal one is a 640, not a 320.
Yeah, it's got to make. What size is the screen?
4.3,
3.5 inch.
so like 3.5 inch. Yeah,
Okay. That's pretty cool.
yeah, it's a cool little. It's definitely a cool little thing. Like I was very pleased to that I picked one up because I think it's just really fun. And there's people who make a bunch of new like you can go buy a whole bunch of different overlays for it. If you want to change the screen thing so it doesn't have the company logo on it, you can change out the screen.
That's
People
cool.
make changes to the buttons, all kinds of crap.
What hardware is it using processor wise? Did they tell you?
Let's see.
Is it an ARM?
Does. I think. It said
If it's
somewhere.
running its own software, it's probably not like an ARM.
I'm pretty sure it's an ARM processor.
CPU JZ48770 dual at 1 gigahertz. 512 RAM, 512 megs of DDR2 RAM.
Yeah, I was between this guy and the Pocket Go that you were talking about, and the Pocket Go is cool, but it just doesn't feel as nice.
Yeah.
And it only has one joystick.
Yeah, that's always weird because like your possibility of enjoying, dual joystick games and stuff.
When you get into PlayStation and stuff, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, so what kind of horsepower does it have? Like, how far have you ran games? SNES?
I mean,
NES?
I'm mostly playing SNES. It'll run PlayStation well.
Yeah.
So it'll run basically everything up to PlayStation.
That's pretty good because a lot of the ones that are that size out there right now can't even have a hard time playing SNES.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely need SNES, Game Boy Advance. Like Game Boy Advance is probably the most complicated that I play, which is a step up from SNES. Most of the time.
But
I usually run PlayStation.
well, yeah, but video wise though, it's not, is it?
No, but like
same
size of game wise and shit
yeah.
like that, and like processing power that the game takes, the Game Boy Advance is more complicated than the SNES.
That's true.
Am I remembering that Final Fantasy VII was on the PSX or the PS2?
The PS1.
PS1, yeah.
Nice. That's what I thought. So that
Although I played the remake recently.
Did you say you play it?
Yeah.
I saw some video from it that looks amazing.
Oh, it's real. So I will. All right. So to not spoil shit,
Yeah.
it's a very different take on the story in a very interesting and kind of meta way.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm cool with it. Like I like it. It's still true to a lot of what's going on, and then it kind of gives itself the ability to branch out in further installments. But man, is it fun?
Well, I heard it.
Like-
I heard it's not only gorgeous. I've heard it's a lot of fun, but I heard what it was is they took like the first 6 hours of the regular game and turned it into
Pretty
like
much.
40.
They did.
Yeah.
They added a lot of backstory, a lot of new quests, a lot of like, backstory on some of the characters and stuff. And
Right.
there's some twisty things that kind of go on, and some new enemies and some new things, and they're telling the story in a different way that I actually think is really compelling in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of things. Like I'm actually really looking forward to where it goes.
And it's only on PS4, right?
It's only on PS4.
Yeah. And I
Don't you have a PS4?
I do. Yeah, and that's my main media consumption device, really. But I think I'd rather have it on PC so I could play it in my office.
I think there's a 1-year delay on the PC release, so it's supposed to come out on PC a year after.
Which means they're going to run into the PS5, right?
It's probably not available for remote play either.
The real-time combat alone makes it fucking worth it.
Right.
Like switching from turn-based to real-time combat, that alone makes it fucking.
Well, it's kind of like the Final Fantasy 15, I think, that did kind of the same thing. It's like a mashup, right? It's like real-time and strategy.
Yeah, you can kind of stop and like direct and like say what you're gonna do and all that stuff. But like just the real-time combat is so fun.
Do you control whichever character you want to directly control?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple segments where you get stuck controlling certain characters.
Sure.
Which are always my least favorite part of any game like.
Right.
I mean, who wants to control anybody but Cloud, though? Let's be honest.
Sean, did you see the Donkey review of The Last of Us 2?
No, I didn't. And I haven't played it either. I know I got into a huge argument with Wet Shrek about Final Fantasy VII Remake, though.
Oh,
if you ask him his opinion, it will be very different than mine.
Is that right?
He is against every bit of that game.
No kidding.
Of course he is.
Like, we got into a huge fight about it.
Well, he's obviously a big Final Fantasy nerd.
Yeah.
But
he also doesn't like change.
He's mad that they added filler. He's mad that they're changing story. Like, he's mad about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
For me, like, if I want the original Final Fantasy experience, I can go back and I can play that.
Right.
And, like, that game will always exist, and I will always be able to play it. That's awesome.
Right.
But somewhere in my life, I learned to, like, let go of the things that I used to love and accept that they can be new and they can be different. And as long as they do honor to like the concept or the story or the characters or whatever, like I'm cool with it.
That last part's super important though, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's super important to honor like what came before. But as long as you kind of capture the spirit of the thing.
Yeah.
At this point, I want you to tell a different fucking story.
Sure.
Like I don't want the same thing.
That logic holds up unless you're trying to talk about the DH in the National League.
Yeah, it's why I've enjoyed the new DuckTales so much, the cartoon. Yeah. It's why I've enjoyed basically every variation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles until the newest one, because the newest one completely fucked all the characters.
Is that right? I haven't seen the newest one.
Yeah. The art, like the animation, is beautiful, but they're like 10-minute episodes. Splinter's a fat lazy rat. What? Raphael's the leader. Leonardo's like the party guy.
What?
Michelangelo's just stupid. Like they really fucked up like the core concept of what Turtles is.
No kidding.
And I'm like, no, I'm not interested in this. Like I will watch every other variation that ever happened of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles except that one.
You can't change like straight social roles like that of somebody that's a character. That's weird.
But they did. And Splinter is the worst. Like Splinter is fat and lazy and like walks around in his underwear.
I mean, it sounds funny, but it also doesn't sound like Turtles.
Funny,
right?
But like when you grew up on Turtles, right? That really kind of fucks with you.
Yeah.
So like, I just no.
No, he needs to be old and wise.
Welcome to the new America.
Yeah.
Like the 2013 series, the animated, like the CG one, like very different stories, very different everything. But I really fucking enjoyed that one.
They could at least put him in a hover round or whatever those old people chairs are.
Right.
How awesome would that? See, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
they couldn't make him more like Professor X or something.
Right.
But I do feel like the Final Fantasy VII remake very much captured the spirit of the thing. And what they've said is the game is not just going to be Final Fantasy VII. They're basically taking all of the kind of consolidated works of that universe. So like Crisis Core and all of the other games and stuff. And they're basically pulling it into like a consistent story. To a certain extent.
Maybe they should have called it 7-2 or something like they did with the 10-2. Like,
so that was Wet Shrek's thing. Like they shouldn't call it a remake. Well, it is a remake. Like the literal dictionary definition of remake does not say it has to be the same. It just says something that's remade.
Yeah. Maybe a reboot is a better way of saying it.
I don't want to fucking spoil anything.
Yeah,
I
don't.
want you to play it.
Because I do want to play it for sure, and that sounds like something I might want to do. The only problem is I heard it's enormous.
It's really, really hard to explain what it is without explaining what it is.
Okay.
Right? Like you can't. Like I can't explain why I like it or the verbiage or any of that stuff without
wrecking it.
ruining shit.
Okay. Well, thank
I'm
you for
not
not doing
willing
that.
to ruin shit.
I think. Speaking of which, I'm gonna shift topics for a minute. I think the last time you were on, you told me to watch the Orville, and you told me to watch the Rookie.
Yes.
I watched both of them.
And
I really liked the Rookie. I didn't think I was going to. I watched a couple of them, even though I love Fillion. I didn't really think I was going to enjoy the main arc, and I did. I ended up really liking it. I think it was a really good show.
Me too.
At least up until where they were the last episodes of the last season. The Orville, I also didn't think I was going to like, but I ended up liking it for a bunch of really. And I think it was a week that it was just me and Ahmed talking about it. But if I remember what I was saying, it was basically like it's silly enough to where it doesn't take itself too seriously, and like it's able to laugh at itself. The acting is probably about 70% really bad. And 30% pretty good.
Somebody said to me about like I love the Orville, like the concepts and everything, but like Seth MacFarlane is a genius for creating that show. He's a horrible fucking captain of a starship.
Yeah.
Like really, really good writing, really good everything else. He just doesn't fit that role very well.
Yeah, he tries.
He does, and I can't blame him.
It's supposed to be a spoof of Star Trek: The Original Series.
It is a spoof of Star Trek: The Original.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Basically, if Star Trek was a comedy,
yeah.
So like they get to cover a lot of those things that Star Trek didn't cover,
right?
Like sex in a virtual world and shit like that,
right?
And there's just I don't know. I love
it skews
everything
a little
about
bit too much into like trying to be social commentary, like preachy sorts of things. And that was irksome to me, but overall, like as the whole arc, it did surprise me. I did actually really enjoy watching it. It was funny. It made me laugh out loud a bunch of times. And so I think in general it was really good.
My most recent was rewatching Community.
Yeah.
Which, man, I fucking love Community.
I don't even think I watched the last season. Like when it was on the air, I was watching it.
The last season was not very good.
Yeah, I quit watching it because it was kind of bad.
But what brought me back to it was the cast got together and did a table read of an episode.
Oh, really?
And they did a whole bunch of interviews and stuff about it. And like, I just remember like Donald Glover being like, "Oh yeah, you should put that picture in the group chat." And he's like, "Y'all have a fucking group chat? Why the fuck wasn't I invited?" And they're like, "We just assumed you were too busy." And then somebody else was like, No. That's not what you say. We should start a group chat and share this. But like, it was just really fucking funny. And I was like, okay, I got to go watch Community again. Because the table read was really funny too. Because they had somebody else fill in for, it was the one where Pierce died. Like the will reading of Pierce.
Yeah.
Like Donald Glover's last episode.
Mm-hmm.
They had somebody else fill in that part where they're like handing somebody a can of semen. You get a can of my semen. Every time that came up, the dude who was filling in, because it was the first time reading the script, he just fucking lost it. And then, like, he goes to the next one. He goes, and also a can of, oh my God. You just lose it. It's fucking hilarious. So I watched that. Then I started Brooklyn Nine-Nine again.
That one, I am actually behind on that one. I need to catch back up. I did enjoy that show originally.
Oddly enough, I started Brooklyn Nine-Nine again because I read an article about how Brooklyn Nine-Nine was created to pacify people from police brutality. And like, while the events of the world are fucking horrible and a lot of things need to happen, I'm not going to begrudge a sitcom that's funny and humorous for that. So like, I read this article and I'm like, fuck, I should watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine again.
So Festi just said you were talking about Star Trek as a comedy. He said Spaceballs has already been made. There's no way should try to update it.
Oh, but Spaceballs wasn't Star Trek as a comedy. It was Star Wars.
It was Star Wars,
and that was Mel Brooks.
Very different. And the Orville is fucking great.
It really is. If you can just get past a couple things like I just mentioned that were kind of annoying. The overall general thing about the show was pretty good. I did enjoy it. In fact, there was a couple spots for a show that that's at least so far has run such a short amount of time that actually really tugged at your heartstrings at a couple of them. I was like, oh damn, like I actually had a feeling or two, and it was very.
You know what one's got me recently? the fucking Harley Quinn animated series.
I haven't seen any of those.
It's hilarious.
Is it?
So did you ever watch Big Bang Theory? Did you like Big Bang Theory?
I hate Big Bang Theory.
All right.
Yeah, me too.
That's fair because I'm not a big fan. But I don't dislike Kaylee
Like,
Kuko.
the first 2 seasons are good.
Yeah, and I don't dislike Kaylee Kuko that much, but she plays Harley Quinn. And like it's a DC animated show. So like full swearing, full violence.
Yeah.
Like people getting their head bashed in, like all kinds of like it's like a really dark comedy for a cartoon, and it's fucking funny. Like I have enjoyed that one greatly. Like I've just thought it was hilarious.
I need to go back and catch up with The Expanse because I feel like I watched the first couple seasons and I enjoyed it.
So far behind on that show.
But I think it's been coming out more. I think there's a lot more episodes that I haven't seen.
There are.
Yeah.
I'm so far behind on that. Like I tend to like skew towards sitcoms and shit. I love mini bite-sized comedy, nothing too heavy, unless I'm like specifically in the mood for it, which is not a lot.
Yeah. Speaking of which, after I'd finished those things, because I had some time a while back, so I did go through and watch those 2 shows, and then since then I've been falling asleep to. I've been starting Psych again, mostly because Ahmed mentioned it, and I was like, man, I haven't watched that again in a while.
I keep thinking about restarting that show, and then I realize that no matter what episode I put in, I basically know it. Like that's how many times I've seen that show.
I haven't. I only watched it through once.
Yeah, so it's lost a little bit. Did you finally watch the movie?
No,
I remember us talking about
I was gonna. That's exactly why I was gonna do this. I was gonna watch the show and then go back and watch the movie that I never watched.
Yeah, there you go. The movie was pretty good.
Yeah,
I liked it. Although I hear they're talking about a new one. But I actually pivoted over to A Million Little Things because of James Roday or Sean Spencer. Like it's his other project or his newer project.
Is that right?
It's a hardcore fucking drama.
Oh, okay.
But I actually do really like it. Like it's a good show, but it's a hardcore fucking drama.
I think as much as I enjoy the main character, Sean Spencer, I think Dule, I think he's hysterical. I think
God, yeah, he is.
It's so good. He's playing the straight man into a wacky, main character. It's the guy just kills me like almost every time. They did a really good job with not just focusing on one main character, right?
Correct.
He definitely has a lot of really good lines, good personality quirks, good history.
Same for Lassiter.
Lassiter's all right too. And I think Jules is one of the most attractive people that's ever been on TV.
Yeah, that's probably true.
She's very, very pretty. Easy to look at.
That's very true. Yeah, I enjoyed that show a lot. And like that show had so few of those like very heartstringy moments. But like when it delivered them really well.
It did. It's hard to not become attached to at least 4 of those characters.
Oh yeah, and you're not expecting it, right? Yeah. So like you're just it's not normal. So they basically like fucking punch you right in the chest, and they're like, boom, feelings.
Right. And even the hard ass kind of bumbling Lassiter, like you kind of grow attached to that guy because every now and then he shows a little more humanity than he did before, and he's developing too. It's a good show.
And McNabb, man, I love McNabb.
Yeah.
They did a really good job with their characters in that show.
They did.
Like, it was one of those things that, like, even as the characters developed and kind of became parodies of themselves, like, they never really lost track. Like, it was still good. I don't know. It was one of those things, like, so, I've been going through shows. So, like, before I started watching Community, I watched How I Met Your Mother, and I watched Big Bang, or not Big Bang. I watched Scrubs. And, like, I realized through going through those shows that, like, the supporting cast is awesome in both of those shows.
I never watched Scrubs.
The main characters suck.
Oh, is that right?
So bad. Oh my God. Like How I Met Your Mother, like Neil Patrick Harris makes that fucking show. Like if it wasn't for him, that show would be awful. But like Ted Mosby is just awful. But he's not as bad as the Scrubs main character, whose name I have already forgotten.
He's that good.
And I just finished the show like 2 weeks ago or like last week. And he's he's selfish, he's arrogant, he's a complete and total dick to everybody around. Like, I don't know, man. I like kind of likable characters as my main characters of a show.
You kind of want at least something about them to be likable.
Yeah. I only watch Scrubs because somebody argued with me that the Turk and main character from JD, that's it, JD, were the best bromance on TV. And I was like, no, it's Psych. It's Sean.
I was gonna say
for sure.
And I'm like, so we took homework, and he said, you go watch Scrubs, or I'll go watch Scrubs, you go watch Psych, and then we'll come back. So I went and watched Scrubs.
JD and Turk were like the original bromance on television, kind of like at that time, because it was like Scrubs predated Psych by like 5 or 6 years. So,
did it? Was it 5 or 6 years?
Rob's rewatching
Scrubs
Farscape.
is old. I think it was like 2002. It started
2001.
2001. Yeah, 5, 6. Yeah,
And Psych was
2006.
2006. So you're right.
Rob's rewatching Farscape, which in my opinion was a very underrated show.
When I still had cable, I would go on the channel guide, like it'll show the original air date of episodes. So I always surprise myself with like that or Law and Order. Or
You're right. It was definitely the original, but like it just, the characters weren't that good. Like I like,
no, they were good. They just faced better.
I like Turk as a character. Like he's a cool character. I don't really like JD as a character. Like he's just,
and people generally don't like Zach Braff IRL.
I don't really like Zach Braff either.
Hey, where did his career go?
That's a good question. But like the Sean and Gus thing, like that felt almost real in a wacky way.
For sure.
Right. Like they really fucking like just they hit the notes right for like how crazy and how far you go for the people that you care about.
Yes. That last part is exactly what I was about to say. It's how far and how committed you go to somebody that you actually just truly just love, like in your heart.
Yeah, like they really hit the note right. Like it felt real. All the relationships in Psych felt very real. None of them felt forced.
Right.
And that was what made that show so good, I think, is they did really good relationships.
Even when one or the other one was clearly like going crazy about whatever it was that in that episode, right? Is Gus going crazy about that ghost or whatever, and Sean thought it was stupid, but he still supported him, right? Even though he's still there the whole way. Yeah.
Which reminds me a lot of my friendships.
Right.
They're just fucking brutal.
That's because that's the way all man relationships kind of are, right? We tease each other because we like each other, right?
And they kind of end that way, yeah.
What I was saying a minute ago, Rob's going back and watching older sci-fi stuff and he mentioned Farscape, which in my opinion is super underrated. That was such a fun show when I was watching it on whatever channel that was when it was coming out. I haven't seen it in years. I wonder if it stands up.
That's a good question. I would be curious about that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, because that was a Henson. Those were Henson characters, right? Puppets.
I think so.
I'm almost positive it's Jim Henson, and they were so good. Like, and they did such a good job with. And this is me thinking back anyway. So I don't know if it stands up, but from what I remember, like they did such a good job of making aliens not humanoid, boring, the same like Star Trek and Star Wars did. They had characters that didn't breathe the same air, and they had characters that were energy, and they had characters that are little squatty, weird little Yoda looking guys, but like not like little agile crazy people. Like they were just little mushroom people.
I went through a stint of like all the old like live action Disney shit. So like Blank Check and First Kid and Heavyweights.
Blank Check is fucking creepy rewatching as an adult.
Blank Check is creepy rewatching as an adult. Most of them are, to be completely honest. Like most
Blank Check in particular.
But I'll tell you, actually for you, like Onward, like with the kids, any of you really. Onward is really good. It's Chris Pratt and Tom Holland. So it's Spider-Man and Star-Lord in an animated movie about like trolls and goblins and like all the mythical creatures exist and magic existed in the world, but somebody discovered that magic was hard and like technology was easier. Mm-hmm. So basically all the mythical creatures live in the world that we live in, and magic is a lost art. And it's really fucking funny. Like they have a little dragon as their dog, like as their pet, and like centaurs drive cars because they just don't run anymore. shit like that. Like,
Interesting.
and it's Chris Pratt and Tom Holland.
Sure.
So like, and I think it's Pixar, which kind of helps, or Walt Disney Pictures at least. But like, it's funny, it's good, and like.
Speaking of Pixar, did you see that first-person view from the eyes point of view of Pixar?
No.
Oh God, somebody uploaded a video, and it's the first-person view of the eye, and it looks down, and it sees this big ass plate going boom, boom, boom. It stops next to him. The eye looks up, and it's the light looking down at it. And it's like shaking, and all of a sudden it jumps and just squishes it over and over, and it kills it. And there's fucking blood that goes everywhere.
Jesus.
I'm like, holy crap. That was great.
Holy crap, that was great.
That was amazing. You know the really sad news of the time, though, right now? The backstock on fucking everything. Especially
I'm out of Guinness.
I ordered a new Drobo like 2 or 3 months ago.
Really?
I ordered an 8-bay.
Everyone's doing everything from home now.
The last update that I got is that they're probably not going to be back in shipping till August.
No shit.
Yeah.
I ordered the Road Boom for my mic. Actually came in today.
Mhm.
Like, bam.
Dude,
This
I've
was
got.
I searched around for a week to find it in stock. Where? Guitar Center.
Yeah,
For not a bajillion dollars.
I've been getting lucky finding weird stuff at Best Buy and Office Depot.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Bigglesworth was looking for a new mouse, and
Dude.
the G Pros sold out everywhere except
yeah.
Best Buy on eBay.
Dude, I've got 4 10-terabyte drives sitting in my hallway, like still in the box, waiting for this fucking new Drobo to show up.
Dude, Angsty, Best Buy on eBay is where that crazy ass deal for those hard drives happened, where they had 8 terabyte drives for like $70.
Whoa!
Western Digital Reds, dude. Yeah, you had to shuck them, but yeah, totally worth
Newegg
it.
and Best Buy. Newegg and Best Buy's eBay accounts usually run the deals that you don't hear about.
Yeah.
So it's always good to keep tabs on them. Like, you remember like the limited deals they do on Black Friday?
Yeah.
All through eBay.
Yep.
No kidding.
I want to put these fucking 4 10-terabyte red drives to use at some point.
Why don't you do you're not a Synology guy?
No, I'm a Drobo person. I got a new Mac Mini to run all the shit. Like, it's all running on a new Mac Mini. The Mac Mini came in perfectly fine. The drives took a week. The Drobo's like we expect it'll be in stock. I ordered from B&H Photo because they were the only place that were letting people order like backstock. They're like, it'll be in a week. Sorry, it's going to be delayed. Sorry, it's going to be delayed.
I know both of you guys have done, Drobos forever, but I'm surprised you haven't liked the Synologies, because I think that they're the same as, kind of like what Apple does, where...
There's a very specific reason why I don't like Synologies.
Why is that?
Because my Drobos aren't networked, they're disk. So like I do all my processing. I do all the processing on the Drobo on a Mac Mini.
Gotcha.
So like Synology doesn't make a disk-based solution. Drobo is the only company that I know that makes a good mass storage device that's disk-based that can take any size drive.
Well, Synology is all inclusive, isn't it? There's like usually like an Intel Atom in there. And such.
Yeah, but it doesn't work anywhere near as well, like to transcode shit or do any of the other stuff as disk. So like if you have anything that requires processing power, you're getting way more out of disk. Which is why I run disk.
They're teasing us that we're talking about computers again.
I mean, fuck, what do you want? I work in technology. This is my life.
That's right.
Oh, by the way, for everybody's benefit, I quit raising horses and now I work in technology.
Just to catch everybody up.
Yeah, just so everybody's caught up.
And I like to put my plug in. Go check out that new Netflix and chill flavor from Ben Jerry's.
I'm very disappointed that they went through with that. Just saying, you could run that up the chain.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, but we're still getting everybody because we're just making them fatter, because it's, instead of being like 400 calories for the whole tub or 800 calories for the whole tub, it's 1,200 calories for the whole tub. So suck it, Trebek. 200 calories every spoonful.
Dude, I mean, this is what I got to tell you. Like, I got to appreciate that the other new finding from Ben and Jerry's, and I have a feeling this was on you. So thank you. Fucking cookie dough bites.
Yep.
Frozen cookie dough bites, man. They're dope.
Truffle kerfuffle.
We give people what they want.
That's right.
I also got a whole bunch of like crazy fucking mochi in my freezer. So like s'mores mochi and blueberry mochi.
What?
Yeah, dude. The s'mores mochi is dope.
Dude,
it's got like
mochi comes in vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, green tea, red bean. That's it.
Nope, dude. Fuck you. The s'mores one is amazing.
Red bean ice cream is as overrated as cake batter.
The s'mores one has like graham
Red
cracker.
bean
Hold
good.
on. So it's got like the mochi shell, right?
Yeah.
It's like a chocolate shell.
Wait,
It's got like
chocolate?
graham cracker. Fuck you. It's got like graham cracker flavored ice cream, which is goddamn amazing. And then it's got like marshmallow filling in the center. Fucking dope.
Let's go back to chocolate shell.
Yeah, like they use the shell. I think it's flavored chocolate.
That's not
Like-
mochi.
It's still fucking mochi. It's still the same thing. It's not like a hard shell. It's like a mochi shell.
It's like you see this potato here's deep. It's still a vegetable. We deep fry it.
Yeah.
Put a bunch of
It's a
sauce on
mochi
it, but it's
shell.
still a vegetable.
It's literally like it's made by the mochi people who make the mochi ice cream.
Oh, careful now.
Yeah. See,
I don't like that. Fuck you. The mochi ice cream that you buy at the fucking store.
Oh, it's the last of the Mochigians.
Oh shit! I'm gonna stop the show before I get in trouble. All right,
Hi,
everybody.
everybody. It's been fun.
Thank you for coming out. Thank you, Sean, for filling in for Massey
Yes.
for a while today.
Thank you. I apologize.
Hey, I'm always happy to jump on here and talk to you bastards, and also have
Hey,
everybody in chat.
if I have to be late to get Sean to show up, every once in a while, I'm fine with that.
That's right.
I mean, you could have at least turned on your camera, though.
I don't have one out here. Sorry.
Hey, you guys stay safe. Be kind to one another. How about that? Yeah, don't
That's
be
a
a
good
dick.
one. That's a good one.
Adios, mochi chachos.
Later, y'all.